Ever watch one of those videos on YouTube where it starts off happy-go-lucky and then turns into a dark screamer video that makes you spill your pop and jump out of your chair? That's what this felt like, only I couldn't just click the X and exit the video. Let me start from the beginning, perhaps the first day I clicked on YouTube. I was 12 years old, and so was she. Miranda posted videos of herself singing original songs in her well-lit bedroom with a guitar that was almost too big for her, and I fell in love. I watched every single one of her videos, from the moment she first posted to the day she hit 1 million subscribers. I left comments on all of her videos under my YouTube username, shapeshifter14. I wasn't really a shapeshifter, and 14 was my lucky number. I daydreamed about explaining that to Miranda when we met. In my head, we met at parties, on the street, or at a YouTube fan event. She would recognize me from my profile picture, and we would fall in love, and everything would be perfect. Real life didn't work that way, of course, and I was never one of those creepy kids who pretended she was my girlfriend or anything. One day, when I was 17, I noticed she hadn't posted a video for over 2 weeks. I wasn't like her. She normally posted 3 times a week, like clockwork. When I scanned the internet and her other fan pages, I was stunned to see that her parents had died in a car crash, and Miranda had gone to live with her aunt. There wasn't a lot of news of where she was or how she was doing, and I think the lack of news made it worse. I spent every waking moment thinking about her. I imagined what I would say to her if I saw her, or what I would write if I got her email address. I thought I had it all planned out until the day I saw her walking down the hallway of my school. Instead of saying one of the 10,000 things I had thought about, I slammed my locker door in shock right onto my fingers. I didn't even have time to call myself an idiot because it hurt so much that I instantly cried. Miranda was walking by me at the same time, and she turned her head to me in shock. "Are you all right?" she asked, as any decent human being would. "I'm Shapeshifter," was what came out of my idiot brain. She stared at me for a moment. "You're a shapeshifter?" she asked and took a tiny step back. No. I brought my probably crushed beyond repair fingers to my side. "I'm Shapeshifter14. You're Miranda. You're here. What are you doing here? Oh my god, I think my finger's gonna fall off." She probably should have ran away, but instead she smiled. "Oh," she said, "you comment on my videos." "Yes." I almost melted into the floor in a puddle of goo. She knew who I was. "Yes, and you vanished and—" "Yeah." She looked away. "A few things happened in my life." "I'm so sorry," I said. I read all about it. "I read that you went to live with your aunt, but I didn't know where. It's okay." I didn't know whether she was truly okay or just putting on a mask, but it didn't matter. "I probably won't be here long, but school is important, so—" "Why won't you be here long?" I asked. She paused. "I don't know. My aunt is someone who's busy a lot. Kids aren't really her thing. She never wanted them." "But I bet you're awesome to live with," I blurted out. Oh my god, I'm such an idiot. I might as well slam my whole face into the locker. She still didn't run away. She actually smiled. "Thanks," she said. "What is your real name?" It was like a dream come true. We chatted until the bell rang for class, and then I stood there, dumbstruck, after she left. The rest of the day, I felt like I was walking on a cloud. I didn't really have any friends, but there I was, talking to Miranda. When I went home and told my parents about what had happened, they raised an eyebrow. "Is this real?" my mother asked me. I looked at her in shock. "Of course it's real," I said. "Miranda is really going to my school. I guess her aunt lives here." "So it's not just some fan fiction story you wrote?" she asked, and I gaped at her. "No," I cried, "she's real." My mom sipped her coffee as if she was used to dealing with her lunatic child. She probably was. Sometimes her looks annoyed me, but today I didn't care. "Can she come for supper?" I asked. My mom paused. "Tonight?" I asked. No, not tonight, but sometime," I said. "She's in a new town, her parents died. She doesn't sound like she's happy with her aunt, and she doesn't know anybody. I could ask her when she's free." "How about Tuesday?" Mom asked. She was looking at her phone, and I wondered if there was another crisis. My mom was a crisis worker, and it seemed like she was always running off to rescue some poor kid. I, however, was always left on my own. I didn't mind most of the time, but I'm sure my mother always rescuing someone else's kids had led me to using YouTube as a parenting device. "No, she can't come Tuesday," I said. "She edits on Tuesdays after school." "Okay," my mother said. "Whenever you want." "Awesome, I'll ask her tomorrow," I said. "Thanks, Mom." "Sure," she said. Just, she is really at school, isn't she?" "Mom, I'm not hallucinating," I said. "She's real, I swear." Okay, my mom said, and shook her head as she got up. "I have to get ready for dinner. Your dad'll be home soon." "I'm gonna go do my homework," I said, even though I was actually going to see if Miranda was registered on our in-school messenger system yet. I had been too much of an idiot to ask for her number, and I doubt she would have given it to me anyways. She wasn't on the school messenger, and she wasn't at school the next day either. I was starting to think that maybe I really did hallucinate her, until I came home from school and she was sitting in my living room. All I needed was something to break my fingers in, and this could be a deja vu of our first meeting. She was sitting on the couch and looked a little pale. Her eyes were red, and I realized she'd been crying. "You live here?" she said to me in surprise. Yeah," I managed as I put my bag down. "Are you looking for me?" "Not specifically," she replied, and I felt like an idiot. Of course she wasn't looking for me. "Dean," my mother said as she came into the room. She gave Miranda a blue mug of tea, and I realized what was happening. She only gave the kids that she rescued the blue mug. She said that the tea was calming. "You know Miranda too?" I asked my mother and put two and two together. "Oh," she said, "I guess so." Slowly, over the course of the evening, the whole story came out. Miranda really didn't get along with her aunt, and she had called the crisis line for help. I knew that this was a terrible situation, but I couldn't help but be overjoyed. Obviously, I didn't want Miranda to be upset, but the fact that she was sitting in my living room, revealing intimate things, and I could refill her tea mug was amazing. Eventually, my mother sorted it out, and she went back to her aunt's house. However, it was not the first time my mother went to get her. Each time we got a little closer. Each time we talked a little more, and each time we sat physically closer on the couch. Miranda was actually a pretty normal person, I realized. Yes, she had 1 million followers on YouTube, and the first time she did a live stream from my house, I almost died. She just used a blank wall because she happened to be there at the advertised time, but I still felt like it was my 15 minutes of fame. I thought about cropping the wall in her video and posting it on Facebook and saying it's mine, but I didn't really have any friends on Facebook anyway. When she wasn't crying on my couch or filming videos, Miranda seemed to want to explore the town. We went to the movies, we went on walks, we even put our arms around each other. The first time she touched me, I almost gasped. Maybe this was it. Maybe my life wasn't going to get any better than this. Maybe this is what I had endured for all of those years of being teased and for being her fan for. This was perfection. There was one night where she slept over because she had a particularly bad fight with her ex, and she stood in the hallway before bed with a smile on her face. "I had a really good day today," she said to me, and I nodded. "Yeah, me too," I said. There's something I have to talk to you about in the morning, though," she said, and I froze. "What?" I asked. "Is it bad?" "No," she said with a smile. "It's good. It's really good." I went into my room and almost jumped for joy. Life was perfect, and I decided to be brave for once in my life. I pulled up my Facebook profile, and I sent her a relationship request. She had given me her personal Facebook, and I felt so honored. Now I knew that nothing could possibly be better than accepting my request. I was sure she would, too. I was certain that that was what she wanted to talk to me about. We had basically been on dates for months now, and she didn't hang out with anyone else. The next morning when I got up, the request was still pending, but I heard noises downstairs. Confused, I went downstairs to see that there was some guy in my kitchen that I didn't know, sitting beside Miranda. "Dean," Miranda said, "I'm so glad you're awake." My parents were there too, and everyone was beaming. What's going on?" I asked as I ran my hands through my hair. "Who are you?" "We have some good news," my mother said, and handed me the paperwork in her hands. "You know that things have been very difficult for Miranda, but we've decided, given that everyone gets along so well, we wanted to make it better." "Oh?" I asked, confused. I looked down at my paperwork, and my eyes nearly fell out of my head. "No!" My mother looked confused. "No?" she asked. "You can't." I could barely form words. "You can't adopt her. We're dating." Miranda made a noise, and I looked up at her. "Didn't you see my Facebook relationship request?" I asked her. She turned to the boy beside her. "I didn't," she said. "Dean, I want you to meet my boyfriend, Sam." Nice to meet you," Sam said. "It's been so long since I could see Miranda, but now that the situation is stable, I'm happy to come down. But, you're dating?" "No," Miranda said, and clung to Sam's arm. "Of course we're not. Dean's just funny like that. And, ew, now that we'll be step-siblings?" "What do you think, Dean?" my mother asked. So this is what broken dreams tasted like. "Gotta go," I said, and vanished from the kitchen. My brain was basically on autopilot as I went to my bedroom. Everything I ever wanted, gone. Was this because I didn't know how to operate a locker? I pulled out my phone and stared at it for a while. I'd spent years with Miranda just on this screen, and now that she was here, I felt like I lost her forever. I scrolled through YouTube mindlessly, my broken mind not even syncing with my potentially broken fingers. Eventually, I landed on Holly G, another YouTube singer who Miranda hated. Holly G always copied everything she did and managed to get just as many views. I paused and then hit the comments section. Shapeshifter 14. Hey, I'm your #1 fan. Time to start all over again.